Your Move is about ownership. It's about owning your expertise, your ambition, and your next step. And in this conversation and all the conversations that we're having today, we're going to explore what it takes to make a move with purpose and with impact. And with that, I want to welcome Nidhi Agarwal. She is the CEO and co-founder. Are you the co-founder of Design and Buy software? So thank you so much for joining us. Can you share more about yourself, what you do, and how your work helps the industry move forward?
Okay, so thanks for the introduction, Deborah. So, in the capacity of CEO at Design and Buy, I think my role primarily focuses on working closely with printers around the world and helping them transition from the traditional and offline ordering processes to more online, digital, and automated, as well as customer friendly workflows. So, on one side, I work closely with large print companies and manufacturers who are looking to modernize their processes and scale their business. But what I love personally is working with young entrepreneurs who are just starting their journey in print, because I know they are the ones who need the most of our experiences. So I can still remember, not exactly the year, around early um, 2010, when I was approached by a very young entrepreneur. He had a brilliant idea of opening up a portal for selling college merchandise, and nobody believed him. He was just fresh out of college, so he actually visited me in the office and he said, Nidhi, I just need 15 minutes to explain my idea, and would you like to help me, because I don't know how to get started. It's too early for personalization. It was not so common that time. And then processing complex orders, creating a social networking website where students from all over the world and alumni can co-create beautiful tees, sweatshirts, and share, and all this. I heard him and I just fell in love with the idea, and I told him, I'm on board. Tell me, how can I help you? So we leveraged our technology platform and help him curate that platform. And I'm glad he ultimately turned it up into a multi-million-dollar business. Um, then I worked with two mothers who were fed up with their kids losing all their school, things, and they came up with an idea of opening a business of um, personalized labels that can stick on anything, on plastic, on bags, on anything that kids carry to the school. And they were clueless how to get started. And um, when they contacted, I just loved how passionate they were about this idea. And I said, okay, I'm on board. Tell me, how do you want to do it? And eventually, uh, after more than a decade, I am so proud to see the business grow year on year. And there are so many such stories where I've worked with youngsters, and that's what personally I love. That whatever knowledge I've gained working closely with people in the industry, how that can be leveraged to move things around, to move people around, especially the youngsters joining the industry.
When I worked in advertising as a print production director, I people ask me what I did, and if you don't work in advertising, you can't really explain it to people. It's complicated. So I simplified it by saying, I bring ideas to life. That's what I do. We take them out of art directors' heads and we put them in somebody's hands or front of their eyes. And based upon what you just said, I would say that you bring businesses to life. So you can take that tagline and you should use it. I also, everyone's admiring your awards behind you, by the way, and believe to achieve. Is that what that says? That should also be a secondary theme of this conference. Now, I want to understand where you started from to how you moved your way through a software and technology space to become the co-founder of a company. But I also want to mention that you are the regional director of Girls Who Print India, which has was launched last year at an event called Print Expo. It was in Chennai, and I've been on all of these emails going back and forth about all these panels at this new event that you're going through. So can you share a little bit about Girls Who Print India and then tell us where you started from and how you got to where you are today?
Deborah, I don't know where should I start answering this question, but yes, Girls Who Print India, thanks for entrusting me to be a part of this initiative, because you won't believe, since the day we introduced it on the floors of Print Expo in Chennai, um, there is so much interest from the powerful women community in print in India, and I'm trying my best to keep up the pace and be engaged and involved as much as I can. But I can see that this whole momentum, this Girls Who Print initiative at global level, is turning up into something that none of us would have imagined when you started it. So thanks a lot, first of all, to you and Pat for bringing this wonderful platform up and giving opportunity to a lot of women like us to be a part of it. And yes, we are now being dedicated one full day at Media Expo in Mumbai next month, um, for carrying out different activities under the umbrella of Girls Who Print India, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm sure we are going to have some wonderful sessions there. Now, talking about how I have started is really an interesting story. I never thought I would step into entrepreneurship. I was an hardcore engineer, having a well-paying job, a dream job, you can say, working on exciting engineering projects, worked with Verizon on number portability when it was just a new thing 20 years back, fresh out of college, right? Entrepreneurship was never in my mind. But when I got married, I hope some of you may know Abhishek, who is my co-founder, husband, partner in everything. So when I moved, he started actually encouraging me that, Nidhi, I think you should try doing something on your own. You have so much passion inside you that I think you should start thinking about creating something of your own. And that's when I left my cushy, high paying job and I said, okay, I take your word. If I fail, that's you. If I succeed, that's me. And he said, okay, I take the bet. And that's how I started. And so while for the first year, I was just researching on ideas, and that's when I stumbled upon this idea of personalization and web to print, because we got into a project that we did with Warner Brothers, where they wanted to set up a store selling their own merchandise which people can personalize. And I just got hooked to that idea. And that's when I thought, okay, this is what probably excites me. And I'm going to turn this probably into uh, probably an idea that could be replicated across several businesses who are working in print on demand or personalizing, which could be anything. So this is just how I started. So I started writing the first lines of code. That is how I remember design and I was brought in. But when I initially demonstrated what I created, I got a lot of encouragement from the people I was speaking to, and that's how I started building up my team slowly and gradually, and rest is the story. So that's how it all came about. Uh,
When I speak with Medora, who is Medora Mahajan, is that how you say her
yes.
last name? Yes. Um, who's also on the Global Advisory Board. She is the dean and the director of uh, print and engineering program, or in in Pune, and there's lots of women in those engineering programs, which is that a common thing in India? And once the women go through the programs, are they getting jobs in engineering?
Yes, I think, engineering, I believe it's my personal experience is not always about doing some specific things, but it gives you the exposure to so many things, and it gave me the confidence that okay, I can go ahead and explore several things. So, based on the education system in India, I think engineering is a very lucrative option for the young and ambitious women because it gives them a huge canvas to find their own expertise, experiment with their abilities, and then zero in on okay what they want to do with their career. So, I feel is that these engineering courses are definitely comprehensive in nature, and that's what makes them a lucrative option, especially in a country like India.
You've been to, you travel a lot, Nidhi. I see you at events all around the world. You go to way more events than I do. You're the owner of the company. You're sitting in a technology booth. You do have a lot of visibility, and I think that that is because people know that you are an expert, so they do tap into you to be on panels and do interviews. But I'm sure there's still a lot of people who don't know that you're the owner of the company. Do you find, that people come and say, "Hey, who can I talk to about a technical problem I'm having?"
That reminds me of a very interesting incident, Deborah. So when I started out design and I was very young. I was just in my late 20s and I was just exploring. And, for me, making your move is always about moving from participation to leadership. That's when you start moving the things. Earlier in my career, my focus was on learning about the industry because I had no knowledge about printing industry per se. I was building my expertise and supporting our customers all the way. Um, but what I later realized is that you get to be visible, you get to be heard. And that's when I decided that, okay, if I need to do that, I need to move out of my comfort zone and travel. I never traveled much before I think early 2000. But soon after a couple of years when I started design and buy, I decided that I'm going to really go out, meet people, learn from the industry because that's what I thought was the right move. So we exhibited design and biotechnology for the first time in 2012 in Graph Expo, the Printing United, which was earlier known as Graph Expo. And you won't believe because we had a booth. We knew no one in the industry. I was so scared where I made the right decision bringing my company up from all the way to India, exhibiting on such a big global platform. So there was this gentleman who made few moves around the booth. He thought I was just probably a volunteer at the booth. And on his fourth move, I asked him, "Sir, can I help you?" And he asked, "Okay, do you know where are the people of the booth? Because I see only you there, and who's the founder? I want to meet him." And when I said, "Okay, sir, I'm sorry, but I'm the founder because a couple of my team members have gone for lunch. That's why you see me alone on the booth." And it was hilarious because uh, the conversation that happened after that moved to where did I did schooling from about my college and then coming to print and web to print and all of that. So uh, what I figured out at that instant is that uh, you need to be seen, you need to be heard, you need to be visible, and you need to grow your community over the years because That's the only mantra to grow, right? You can't do it all alone. You need people who are there to support you, who are there to be part of your journey. And I'm so thankful for people like you, Pat, and a lot of others in the industry who have always made me feel inclusive. And Girls Who Print definitely comes as one of the best platform that I have stumbled upon. The community is doing wonderful, and I think we are going to just grow like that, right?
So what you just described is something that a speaker before, her name was Isabel, she was here from Down Software, and she described what you just um, shared as the 10-minute interview. Like, oh, you're the founder of a company. Let me ask you questions so you could prove that about engineering, or that you know about this project, this process, or this program, whatever it might be. And it's just so interesting. And I say interesting, not meaning interesting. I really mean like sad, but that women are, this happened probably 10 years ago for you, but it is still happening today. We took a little poll when Isabel was speaking, and many women said that they are subjected to that, 10-minute, all right, let's see if you're really, you really deserve this title, or to be the person who owns this company. So, can you, besides starting a software company, even though you were going to blame your husband if it failed, which everybody loved, what what was another moment that you took an action that helped move your career forward?
So I think the I think one of the event that shaped was entering into meaningful partnerships. When I decided to open our technology and being more open to integrations and creating a comprehensive framework which is not just restricted to our own technology framework, but relying more on the open sources, welcoming the integrators and partners to come on board and help us grow. And I think that was the moment and the decision that helped us grow beyond leaps and bounds, because I believe that you are just part of this ecosystem. You are not, or you can never be all in one, because people out there are doing wonderful things in different areas of print automation, workflow automations, and all of that. And I highly respect the great innovation that's currently happening, and I am always open for adopting what's already there rather than reinventing the wheel. So I think that was the moment when I decided that, okay, we'll rely more on expanding our platform, making even our own platform open through APIs, and let developers, integrators, and contributors use it to support their own customers. And on the contrary, then using their platforms, integrating it with them, and that's how enhancing our own suite of products. I think that is the decision that made the move for the growth that we see at Design and by today.
And why was that time? What were the signs? What did you see? Was the market shifting? Were you being asked questions like, do you integrate with this system? Do you? And finally you're like, huh, maybe we should do something about this.
Yeah, so what was happening is, because as part of my role, I talked to a lot of printers around the world, and I believed many of them were feeling suffocated by a technology that ties them up, that says, okay, use us for everything, or do not use us at all. And I know there are so many dimensions within how a printing business is run. Someone can be good at, let's say, file check. Someone can be good at workflow automation. Someone can be good at personalization. People are doing great things with automation, and I think it's really horrible expecting any printer to rely fully on your own technology stack when he can pick up the best of everything and create a kind of ecosystem to run his business that gives him best of everything. That's when I realized, yes, probably. So it was, I guess, around year just before COVID, around year 2017 or 18. That's when this such conversation started happening, and that's how we ended up creating and upgrading our platform, which was earlier known as all in one, which we replaced with Designo, and created a more open API based and structured platform that even others can integrate with, collaborate, and participate. So yes, it came off as realizing a common pain point in the industry, um, which was the seed for this idea. But yeah, that's how it happened.
So it was a business decision that really needed a lot of consideration. I mean, I liken some of those software systems to owning an iPhone, which I refuse to do, by the way. I have a Mac, but I have a Galaxy phone because of the propriety of you need a special plug for an adapter, and every year they're going to change it, so the phone, you need a new phone case that only fits a certain phone and a new plug. And finally, I think there's some regulation now that says to Apple, you have to use the same USB to C as everybody else in the world, and you've got to stop with your own little accessories there. But there's a cost to the company for making things accessible to everybody, because I don't have to get an Apple adapter now. I can get any adapter because it's going to work. So, did that risk pay off?
Yes, definitely, because as I said, Deborah, we are riding high on some of the world's leading open source technologies to help our customers easily choose as per their own internal skill set, expertise, and probably the budgets which they want to allocate to choose any of the, let's say, the e-commerce part. So I always ask them, first assess what's your internal skill set, because uh, as far as you can have an easy learning curve for your team, your chances of succeeding at what you are doing increases. So we let them choose what their e-commerce technology strategy is going to be, what their MIS strategy is going to be, how our powerful components, especially for enabling print on demand, personalization, workflow automation, then can integrate with these systems. Most of the times, either these printers have already invested in a technology over the years, trained their teams, and it's very difficult to let go of these investments. And I always say, you now no more need to do that, because we have created a platform that can now beautifully integrate with anything you have already invested on. So it has definitely 100% paid off, and now we are doing much more faster implementations, bigger implementations, with a more open technology there. So
Yep.
yes, the decision definitely paid off.
It's like the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. What
Yes.
advice would you give to women who are thinking about making their next big move?
So, what I learned from my experience coming from something which has never been related to print and now deep into this enchanting industry is that, first of all, stay curious. Print industry is evolving rapidly with technologies, automation, personalization, and a lot more, everything around it. And curiosity always helps you stay relevant. So stay curious and always be open to learn. Build relationships all the way, because communities like Girls Who Print are incredibly powerful, because they are creating support systems and network that can help you grow, right? And last, don't underestimate your voice. That's what I learned when I was young and starting that. Sometimes women hesitate to speak up until they feel 100% sure and confident that what they are speaking of is probably validated. Bring your ideas and perspective on the table. They're valuable, and sharing them is how industry evolve. So what I feel is even small step forward can lead to meaningful change, and that's what I would suggest. Never fear. Trust your instincts, trust your ideas, go ahead, share it, and that's how you evolve.
If you wrote your career memoir right now, what would the title be? And who would you ask to write the forward?
Okay, that's interesting. Why? Because when you ask this question, that brought me back to something that I was doing. So I actually wrote it already, and this copies were sitting on my table for last couple of years because I thought, are they worthy of going to print? And my daughter has been encouraging me since a long time. Mom, why don't you get it printed? It's lovely, it's wonderful. And I was thinking, I'll make corrections to it. I need some updates. And I was postponing it until you asked this question. And I thought, okay, I should go back to it and reconsider this. So if you ask me the title, it's just the random that I would like to name it The Chosen One, because I believe it's not me who chose print, but it's the print industry who chose me, because I never imagined it in my dreams that I would be entering this wonderful, wonderful industry. So for me, I think the title would be The Chosen One, because you know we are chosen for a purpose. I believe this, that if you stumble upon any idea, you can trust the stars and feel probably you're the chosen one to do that thing, and universe is entrusting you to take part. So go ahead, don't worry, try what wildest of your ideas. The worst thing is you'll fail, but you can again come up and do it. So yes, for me it could be the chosen one, because each one of us here is the chosen one, right? For the forward, I think I would like Pat McGrew to do it, because I really admire her energy. She's the first, I guess, mentor, I would say, whom I interacted with and learned so much from. So if it is going to be someone, I don't think there could be a better choice than Pat McGrew to do it.
I think that's going to be the answer for a lot of people today. I know it's the answer for a few other women who have actually written books who will be joining us later. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We have put a link into the chat so everyone can connect with you and connect with Design and Buy. And as I've mentioned, please support the companies that support Girls Who Print. Nidhi is the regional director for India. She is volunteering her time and her expertise and her team to help support women in India and around the world. So if you are looking for any of the solutions that her company offers, have a conversation. Take a demo. I'm not saying it might be right for you, but what I'm saying is it is worth checking out to support the companies that support us. Thank you so much, Nidhi. I really appreciate you.